I'll never forget the morning our sleepy little Willow Creek neighborhood turned into a scene straight out of a crime drama. It was barely dawn when the first police sirens pierced the quiet, followed by the screech of tires and the thump of what I later learned were flashbang grenades. I stumbled out onto my porch in my old flannel pajamas, blinking against the strobe of red and blue lights. Half the block was already outside, clutching coffee mugs or bathrobes, staring as SWAT teams stormed the tidy two-story house at the end of our cul-de-sac. Whispers buzzed through the crowd when two people, a man and a woman, were led out in handcuffs, their heads bowed as officers hustled them into separate squad cars. They were the Harrisons, or so they'd said when they moved in 3 months ago. And there, on her perfectly manicured porch, stood Linda Baxter, our HOA president, arms crossed, a smug grin plastered across her face. As the police vans peeled away, she turned to the gawking neighbors and declared, "I told you they were trouble. Nobody ever listens to me." I hate to say it, but Linda was right this time, though not for the reason she thought. Levying in Willow Creek meant signing up for Linda's reign of terror. She'd ruled the HOA for 4 years with the zeal of a dictator, enforcing rules that made our neighborhood look like a postcard but feel like a prison. Pay your mailbox anything but Willow Creek taupe? Expect a fine. Leave your trash, can out past noon on pickup day? That's a violation. When I moved in, Linda slapped me with 3 citations in my first month. One for a basketball hoop in my driveway, another for planting unapproved tulips, and a third for leaving my garage door open while I carried in groceries. In Linda's world, everything was a potential crime. When the Harrisons arrived last spring, Linda's radar went into overdrive. I was scrubbing my car one Saturday, only allowed between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., of course, when Linda strutted by in her yoga gear, clutching her trusty HOA binder. "Have you seen the new people?" she asked, not waiting for an answer. "Something's off about them. They don't fit here." I glanced at the Harrisons, a couple in their 30s, unloading boxes in jeans and t-shirts. They looked normal to me. "They seem fine, Linda," I said, focusing on a stubborn smudge on my hood. She snorted, adjusting her headband. "I'm watching them. They didn't even tell me where they're from. And no landscaping forms yet? Already breaking rules." I nodded, knowing better than to argue. Engaging Linda was like poking a beehive. Most of us had mastered the art of dodging her minimal eye contact, quick escape. But Linda's fixation on the Harrisons grew fast. At first, it was her usual gripes. Their trash bins were an inch too far from the curb, their driveway needed pressure washing, and they left a delivery box on their porch for 5 hours. When those didn't get traction, our HOA board had some standards. She went full detective. Linda started a spreadsheet, logging when their lights flicked on, what time they left for work, even what groceries they bought. "Always generic brands," she hissed at me one day while I grabbed my mail. "Who does that unless they're hiding something? People on a budget?" I offered. She ignored me, ranting about their late-night walks. After 10 p.m., normal people don't do that. Things got creepy when Linda bought a fancy camera with a telephoto lens, claiming it was for bird watching. Nobody bought it. She was snapping photos of the Harrisons from her upstairs window every trip to the store, every VY cider, every bag they carried. At the next HOA meeting, I'd had enough. "This is harassment, Linda," I said, my voice steady. "Photographing neighbors and tracking their lives isn't enforcement. It's stalking." The room went quiet. Linda's face turned beet red as she slammed her gavel. "Order. I'm investigating covenant violations and security threats. They parked the wrong way on Tuesdays, tossed plastic in the recycling, and never waved back." Even her loyal board member squirmed. Tom, our treasurer, coughed. "Linda, not while VYing isn't a rule we can enforce." She stormed out, muttering, "When they're exposed as criminals, don't blame me." It got worse. Linda started tailing the Harrisons in her silver SUV. One Saturday, I saw her idling at the corner as they drove off, then peeling out 30 seconds later. She came back hours later, breathless, telling me they'd hit 4 banks in one morning. "Normal people don't do that," she insisted. Her friends started avoiding her. Her husband took longer work trips. Her yoga group canceled meetups. But Linda was obsessed. Con V. Wine said the Harrisons were up to no good. The breaking point came one June evening. I was flipping burgers on my grill when I heard Linda on her phone, her voice sharp. Yes, 113, Willow Court. They're loading bags into their car sneaky, looking around nervously. I think they're fleeing. I peeked over my fence. The Harrisons are tossing duffels into their trunk, calm as could be. They didn't look like fugitives, just a couple packing for a trip. I groaned, picturing their humiliation when the cops showed up. Sure enough, 2 patrol cars rolled in 15 minutes later. From my kitchen window, I watched the officers approach. The Harrisons looked confused, but handed over IDs, explaining they were headed to a bed and breakfast. I was mentally drafting an apology for the neighborhood when the mood shifted. One cop went to his car, his radio crackling. The other kept talking, his posture tense. More cars arrived. The Harrisons were separated, questioned harder. Within an hour, they were cuffed and driven away. No sirens, no fuss. By morning, our street was a circus. FBI agents, state troopers, and local cops swarmed the Harrisons' house, taping off the yard. News vans clogged the subby VY Shown entrance, and Linda was in her element, GI VYing inner VYUs to every reporter. I knew it from day one, she told Channel 7 crew, her voice dripping with pride. My gut's never wrong. They broke rules, acted secretive. I documented everything. The truth hit like a bombshell. The Harrisons weren't the Harrisons. They were Ethan and Claire Donovan, wanted in 7 states for running a massive identity theft ring. Cops found fake ID printers, 200 stolen credit cards, and due law $500,000 in cash stashed in vents and secret compartments. They'd picked Willow Creek for its privacy, thinking a rule-obsessed neighborhood wouldn't dig deeper. They didn't count on Linda's paranoia. That night, Linda called an emergency HOA meeting, practically glowing with VY Tory. We need background checks for all residents, quarterly inspections, and a mandatory neighborhood watch led by me, she declared. The room went silent. Then Tom stood up, his voice firm. Linda, we're glad criminals were caught, but your actions spying, tailing, photographing broke privacy laws and HOA bylaws. We've got complaints, and the Donovan's lawyers suing you and the HOA for harassment. Linda's smirk vanished. But I was right, she sputtered. Tom slid a paper across the table. You exposed us to due lot $75,000 in damages our insurance won't cover. We need your resignation now. Linda clutched the podium, trembling. I'm a hero, she choked. Sarah from the garden committee held up her phone, showing a news headline. Saw local HOA president's obsession accidentally busts crime ring. Saw it's running tomorrow, Sarah said, barely hiding her glee. Linda sank in her chair, pale and silent. Sarah moved to accept her resignation and named Tom interim president. The vote was unanimous, sealed with Linda's stifled sob as the gavel fell. Linda's crusade caught criminals, but it cost her everything: her position, her reputation, and a chunk of her SAVYNGS. Willow Creek breathed a sigh of relief, free from her iron grip, but left us wondering, was she a hero or a VY lane? What do you think? Did Linda's obsession go too far, or was she justified in sniffing out trouble? Should HOAs have the power to police neighbors like she did? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if this story got you hooked, and subscribe for more wild neighborhood tales.